This is Cadillac Unscripted on 107.9 CDY. We do it every week at this time, 8:30 a.m., and it's sponsored by Independent Bank, and we talk about interesting, fun things, worthwhile things going on in the Cadillac area. Katie Huckle is my co-host, and today we are profiling Up North Arts in Cadillac for not necessarily the first time, because we've had Chris Fisher and Mike Filkins in here before,
right,
with the group's involvement in the art fair in July. But we've got the executive director with us, Heath Urbaniak. So, Heath, welcome.
Hi.
You know, I was so tickled, Heath, to hear that you were coming in and with your background, because every nonprofit's music to their ears is two words: grant writer.
Yeah.
And for you to have a background as a grant writer and come to this wonderful art organization in a small community, what a gift. So welcome.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I volunteered as a grant writer for about 2 years. We had success with Rotary Charities, the Community Foundation, and their member organizations, Michigan Arts and Culture Council. Yeah, and a few other grants. For what's currently funding my position and what has kept us afloat for the last about year or so is the Michigan Nonprofit Relief Fund. That was a one-time operational grant that we got that kept the lights on, allowed them to hire me in a limited capacity. I'm only part-time, but we can grow. And then the unfortunate thing is it's a one-time grant. So I have been trying to build more of the foundation of funding, working with foundations, charitable organizations, other grants, grant writing, like this community art project we have going on. I kind of started this outside of Up North Arts with, I got invited to a kind of city meeting with various people in the arts with Diane Wilson from Michigan Art Share. Her and I co-wrote this grant and submitted it through MSU Extension through Michigan Arts and Culture Council.
Okay.
And so it's going to pay for a public mural at the Cadillac Print Company. So when you're at the farmer's market and in the marketplace and you look back into that alleyway, you'll be able to see a nice, big, beautiful mural.
Wow.
And we're able to do that at, little to no cost to the business. There's some, incidentals, maybe some insurance that need to be covered. But largely it is at no expense to them. It's a great business. They've been around for a very long time, and there's a reason for that. So we, me, Lindsay from the Visitors Bureau, Danielle from the downtown Cadillac. They've all been great. They helped us kind of get all of our ducks in a row to submit this, and then they're helping us facilitate this community impact engagement aspect of it, where we're looking to see, what does the community think? What would you like to see there? My wife is the lead artist on this project. She won the Dorothy Sorensen Fine Art Award last year at the Phyllis Olson Juried Art Fair.
Awesome.
So, just one more accolade that I can brag about my wife for. But yeah, she did the mural at Oasis. If you're walking down Mitchell and you see that mural with the women, that was one that she just did kind of pro bono, and Up North Arts donated all the materials for that. So yeah, we've been moving, we've been doing a lot of work. We started on this project last May, really. So, timeline, we're going to have it wrapped up and done July 19th, which is the Saturday of the Festival of the Arts. We're going to have a little celebration unveiling. So we'll have a performance and musical act from 5 to 8 p.m. that evening.
Imagine being out, Katie, on a pontoon on Lake Cadillac and being able to see that from out there.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah. So the public aspect, the public being able to weigh in on this, how does that look?
So we're hosting town halls.
Okay.
Right. So we're Up North Arts generously donating the space. We can allow people to come in, sit down, and get to know us and who's been working on this project and what we've been doing, and hopefully the people, Pam and Buck from the print company, can join us. and we can kind of just field questions, updates. What have we been doing? Like I said, we've been at this since last May, and so it's been a lot of work already, a lot of things behind the scenes, and we're finally getting to this point where we can, kind of show what we've been doing, and we have an opportunity to allow for engagement and discussion, and that's exactly what we want. We don't want to. You don't want to just slap up a mural and then afterwards you hear how much it's like, oh well, they could have done this and they could have done that. So I'm very excited that my wife is on this project. We actually went to Detroit. So Michigan Art Share, they have a number of organizations they work with. One of them being Artist Village in Detroit. It's near the old Redford district, and the organization that hosts them, Blight Busters, has put on like $100 million into this block, or 4 blocks in the last 30 years. I don't know. There's a lot of expertise. There's a lot of stuff that we will learn. So we went to them. We learned from Chaz Miller. Him and Gabby worked on this polytab process that we're going to be utilizing.
And Gabby is your wife?
Gabby's my wife.
Okay.
Yeah, she finally got me another ring. I broke the other one. But I've been going around asking people for money and somewhat successful. And I'm like, well, I don't know. It seemed like they were really interested in what I had to say. And she's like, it came in the mail a few days later. So,
so you want to engage the community on what they want in this mural? Yeah,
we want to. Like I said, community input is exactly what we're looking for. I mean, we're not going to say just you're going to walk in and say, hey, this is what I want, and it's exactly what it's going to be. It's a process of working together, and getting that shared understanding of what is Cadillac, what is represented, by this community. What are the things important to us? The current design, Pam took Gabby through the building and showed her all these old machines while I hung out with Buck and my baby up front. Gabby and Pam were kind of going through it. It's like going through like a museum. Like, I think she should offer tours. You should call her up and ask if she'll do it. It was pretty cool seeing all of these presses and all of these machines that they've had operating for decades and decades and decades. So the inspiration's coming from that, and then, we're downtown Cadillac on the lake, wildlife, scenery, things like that. So she's got a few designs that she's been working on that she'll share on Thursday with the community. We're going to have some light refreshments.
The specific date is this Thursday.
Coming.
When and so where?
It will
what
be
time?
at Up North Arts.
Okay.
We'll open the doors at 6 to 8. We might end a little early, depending on how many people are there. I'll be willing to give tours of the Arts Center. If you've been wondering what's going on at Up North Arts and you haven't had a chance to come down, that'll be available.
And Up North Arts is on Chestnut Street.
Yeah, Chestnut Street.
It's right across from the
best known
stadium.
as the old Naval Reserve Building. We're one of those semicircles. And right across from the high school. We've got that nice LED sign there. That's thanks to the Rotary Club, Rotary Charities. They helped us get that, and that's helped the presence a lot. Helped with advertising too. People can drive by and see the classes that we have going on. They can see all the other member organizations that we partner with and are working with.
And we've talked about that before, because there are a lot of organizations in Cadillac that fall underneath the Up North Arts umbrella. And I'm afraid to put you on the spot right now. And are you able to name them all off from memory?
Just from the bat there, the Arts Council has all of these member groups. We are one of the groups.
You are one of the groups.
We are a member group
umbrella.
of the Arts Council.
Okay, what are the other fellow groups?
We have the Clam Lake Band, we have the orchestra, we have the Philharmonic, we have Footlighters, Jam and Bread, Up North Arts, the Garden Club, and we added the Historical Society. And you're putting me on the spot because I'm sure I forgot.
Aren't there Irish dancers in this?
They're housed with our organization, so they're upstairs with us. They give us some rent, and then they have free range upstairs. We can handle ticketing and things for them. They're excellent tenants as well. You get over the Irish dance. We got a schedule of when to expect it, and it's really not that big of a deal. We love having them up there. It's certainly an interesting and fun art form that we're happy to be able to give them space to offer to the community. And we also house the Northern Lights Readers Theater. They just finished their performances last weekend. And so their organization, we actually will handle finances for them. We house their stage, and we provide the space and restrooms, facilities, and everything for their performances. So yeah, we try to be advocates as well. By offering these classes and having these classrooms, we are providing an economic opportunity to artists. They can come in and use our facility to, make a couple of dollars, especially this time of year when the winter weather has kind of set in and you're just looking for something different. We just had another fused glass class. We have ukulele. A lot of fun things coming up.
So it's interesting because when you're talking about art, you're not necessarily talking about physical art. You're talking about music
there is
lessons
an art
and things
to
like that.
everything is kind of the philosophy.
Yeah.
But yeah, the arts in general, performing arts, visual arts. We've primarily focused on visual arts. However, we do have a little space in there that's for, music. We got a piano that honestly probably needs replaced. If anyone's got a nice piano that they'd be willing to donate, I'd be willing to take I would be willing to take a phone call if you can help me get it there. But yeah, that's just we can do that. Actually, when I left, Leilani Kittler, she's in the orchestra. She was the string association. She's a wonderful lady. But yeah, she's in there teaching violin. She utilizes the space. We've got that schedule worked out. Like, hey, you can expect stomping about this time. But
right?
Yeah, and there's 2 studios you can move on here. It's we just got a nice Bluetooth speaker, so our kids club, they don't even notice it anymore.
Can we talk about your outreach to children in particular?
Yeah,
I know
that's really my
yes.
wife's. That's her. Like I said, they were very quick to bring me in as a grant writer. We could totally use your help. And then her just being an artist and having the skills that she does. She has a degree in art. We spent quite a lot of time traveling around to art fairs and art shows. We still sell art, take commission work. So her passion is very much, how do you build a strong art community? You start from the bottom up. So we've got her monthly kids program, which we're going to revamp, I think, next school year to more of a punch card process. You can get, we'll have block times. And she's like, we're here anyway. Like, you are, because I'm here all the time these days. So she's like, if no one comes on that day, so be it. I'll get some painting done. Or, we have a lot of projects going on. But
it's like drop-in type
so
stuff.
It'd be more drop-in. Right now we have a monthly structure, so you commit to 4 classes, which is usually okay. This time of year with the weather, we've got midwinter break at the school, which is maybe you got some vacations. So the whole commit to 4 we found has been maybe that's something we could work on. So talking with fortunately Gabby's the head of the children's program and like the summer camp and this youth gala we have. So she kind of she was open to it. We did surveys for parents, and we kind of got that feedback. Right? What we're looking for with the public art, like feedback, we got to be informed. We're a community art center. What does the community want? So we noticed kids art. I shouldn't say we. Gabby noticed kids art. So she started this kids club, and it was a little bit slow at the beginning. A couple of kids here, a couple of kids there. We'd have to cancel a few. Since then, we've kind of changed pay structure and how that works at the center. We do kind of a profit share. We'll take total revenue, and depending on materials and who provides them and the cost of materials, we do between 60 to 70% of total program revenue goes to the instructor. And then we'll earn our keep by advertising, stocking the toilet paper, making sure it's clean, things like that. Like advocate, we're here for artists. We're here to be a place for artists. We're here to be a place for the arts. So children are not limited to that. So she started, and we've got a good group of kids that come back frequently, and then we keep growing it. And we're finding that, okay, how can we do more in this block system? I think is going to be a good compromise of a way to make it a little less locked in. You can, okay, we can make it 2 days this month. We can make it 3 times this week, right? However you want to do it. You could purchase them ahead of time, and you just kind of check in, take a punch, and enjoy some art, and then refill as you go. And they're good for the entire program year, which we run the kids club from September to May. We'll usually take off December, but we'll have like $5 or low-cost kids activities. It was $5 to the public, $1 for members. Come in, decorate some cookies, make an ornament, beads, things like that. So yeah, equitable art, right? We don't want to charge everybody an arm and a leg. We don't want to, make money at the expense of an artist. We want to be this, nonprofit community art center and do what we can to promote art in Cadillac. And to do that, yeah, we've got the sponsorship drive this year. We're looking to see if there's some potential partnerships and ways that the community can help us continue this mission and continue growing all these programs. Grant writing, I've got some help from the Community Foundation. We're about to start a kids sensory program. Jason Ball from Eyeball Designs, you can find him at the Birdhouse. Has designed sensory tables for us. So I kind of gave him the specs. I'm like, hey, we don't have a lot of space. We have a limited budget. What can you do? And he just kind of took it, ran with it. He met me at the center. I showed him kind of what was going on. And I'm happy to say that should be up hopefully this spring. Where it would be like an early childhood mommy and me type class where you can come in and do sensory art and sensory activities as more of a developmental aspect. Gabby's actually got a webinar tomorrow on child development and sensory programs so that she can be better informed with her arts degree and her education, but also focusing on early childhood and the benefits of these sensory things and development.
So, let me give you.
I told you I could just go.
Honestly, I think this is the longest period of time that Katie and I have sat and listened in the 5.5 years we've done this show.
I just felt it getting a little bit.
Let me give you just a second to catch your breath here,
thanks.
Because I think there are a lot of people in the community that drive by Chestnut Street and see that Up North Art sign and wonder what goes on in there. Right. Mm-hmm. So it's really good that we have you here to talk about that aspect of it. How do people learn about the classes and what the mission of Up North Arts is?
UpNorthArtsInc.com.
Gotcha.
That's our website.
Okay.
Facebook. You can see posts, new classes. Register for classes online through Up North Arts. You can always shoot us an email, info@upnorthartsinc.com is our general. I'm director at Up North Arts Inc. If you want to submit a class and you're thinking about teaching,
I was going to ask you about that.
Email classes@upnorthartsinc.com.
There are probably a lot of people in our community that have hidden talents that you would like to tap into.
Sure.
And we're the art center in Cadillac. We want to show everyone what's going on here, what we have to offer, the talents that we have locally. So bringing in instructors. We had a soap making class, and it was a hit. People had a lot of fun. Pounding posies with Molly Fryer. You come in, and it's pressing fabric with flowers and making designs. So it's being creative and having a space for creativity and realizing that there is an art to many things, and something that you might not have thought you'd be interested in could be your new favorite thing. We had a couples collage mixed media painting with my wife on Valentine's Day. So I had a date with my son Archer at home while she went in and she had these couples painting together, and the husbands, you could see a little apprehensive at first, but by the end of it, they were all having fun, laughing, joking. It's a collaboration. It's a team thing. It was low. It's $50. The both of you get to come in and kind of create your own canvas. So she's got pictures of that online. Lots of fun stuff.
What I love is people are doing something.
Yes.
They're doing something.
You're right.
And we know, Heath, from talking to Dr. Whalen and other folks that know a lot about mental health is, interacting with other people is so important. It wards off depression and anxiety. And so we need to kind of come together more. And I will also say for parents out there, did you know about sensory tables, Rich?
No, I didn't, and I was going to ask you to define what a sensory table is.
So sensory, it's early childhood development. It's understanding how your body and your movements interact with space and objects, like depth perception and textures and feeling, and just essentially building up this base of knowledge in their brains of possibilities, just thoughts. This red, what does red feel like here? Well, red paint feels like this, or, something fuzzy. There are like hot cocoa station. I mean, we're still figuring out this actual, like I said, we have grant funding to kind of get us into the initial project and get a few classes going that will eventually build off of that. Hopefully there's a lot of interest from the community in that so that we can continue to run. Gabby has been just showing me all these different things. She said, I want this, this would be great. Like I said, she's doing her job to educate herself on this as well, attending seminars. And then, just that whole, it's tactile, it's physical, learning and understanding. There'll be finger paint, right? There will definitely be finger paint.
That's about as sensory as you can get.
Right? That is a very sensile, tactile, right? It's not like glossaries of terms, right? But this is still, this is the type of learning that art really helps with. It's that socio-emotional learning and understanding. Like you said, with the mental health, the act of creation is a pretty low stakes, activity. If you're doing it professionally and you're making a mural, maybe you want to ask some people's opinions before you go and put it up. But if you are just sitting at your desk and making a doodle, chances are you'll probably feel a little bit better when you're done.
Right.
Creating is, I think, an essential aspect to being human and trying to make our way through this crazy world we live in. It's very much, right? There's lots of things that we have to do, right? So when you get to do what you want and you have the time to do that, have fun, create, and you'll realize that by creating, you'll find other ways that your life can improve from that process and from that stress relief. And you're right, you'll learn things about yourself that you didn't necessarily know. Like, actually, I do like collaging with my wife and painting in this little group, and hopefully they'll come back next time we do it.
I want to talk about money for a minute because you mentioned that you're in fundraising mode.
Yes.
Can we talk about what your goal is and why that's important, what that's going to fund?
Yeah, so we've kind of seen it coming. We kind of operate on a shoestring every year. Since I came along, grants have been helpful. We've brought in extra money. It's been wonderful. However, you can't sustain yourself through these single one-off
$5 art class. Yeah.
Right, $5 art class, and then these operational grants aren't just hanging around on the corner. So we're focusing on trying to combine our efforts. Rather than showing up on someone's doorstep in September because November's not looking so good. We're trying to be proactive here, right?
And that happens
and it can,
the time.
and especially when you're new and you're starting and you're growing and you're learning these things. I've got operations management and a lot of a background in a lot of things that have been helpful to helping this organization kind of structure and organize a little bit more. Board. We're trying to board development, curation of finding people who are interested in helping us, allowing them into our little circle, and inviting feedback. Right, the change in our kids club is coming from parents saying it'd be nice if we could just find some times and we'll buy it something and more of an open style. And the kids art gal, we're like, what, we have all these youth arts, we've been doing this program for a while, let's advertise it, let's show people what we have in the community and what these kids can do. And then public art, we want more of that too. So when we leave the center, we're working on that and figuring out how can we make sure that we are doing our due diligence to take in and hear what is being said and interpret that artistically in a way that when you walk by that mural, 9 out of 10 people will say that they enjoy it. You're never going to make everyone happy, but we can shoot for 9 out of 10.
90% is
90% is a success rate that you don't see outside of hospitals and food service.
Yeah. Yeah. If 90% of the people of the general population that knows you likes you, you're doing okay.
Yep.
Right, that's
Yep.
right. That's well said, too.
So don't waste too much time on that one.
Yeah.
Move on. You got 9 others to worry about.
So in the 5 or so minutes that we have left, Heath, tell us how you ended up in Cadillac. What's the Heath Urbaniak story? Can we do that in 5 minutes?
You'll have to have me come back some other day,
Okay.
but I can give you the
The
give you a
Reader's
summary.
Digest version?
I went to college and I started off as a biochemical engineering focus, and I took a creative writing class and I kind of loved it. I had a really intimidating, like super cool teacher who just like shook my little Appalachian hillbilly kid's brain up a lot about, just perspective, how you see the world. Shout out to Rachel Burgess. Perspectives. And I've always loved stories. That's how I can talk so much. I can hold my own with the people I grew up with. But in college, I switched to creative writing and English, and that's what I ended up getting my degree in. So I worked as a chef. I started off cleaning cafeterias my sophomore year of college, and then I scooped ice cream, and eventually Buffalo Wild Wings hired me as like dishwash and clean, and then I don't know, I ended up running that kitchen a few months later.
So,
and then moving up, and then fine dining chef, family issues, moved home. But before that, I'd met my now wife. She was front of house at a Cuban restaurant.
okay.
So, yeah.
So you started off going to college for what?
Biochemical engineering.
And you ended up majoring in what?
Creative writing in
And
English.
Mom and Dad, your parents must have said,
Did not
what the
disown me.
heck are you thinking?
Yeah.
Right?
That was a hard phone call. I think I made the official change about halfway, like at the end of my sophomore year of college.
Okay.
And yeah, that one was...
Had to be a hard explanation.
Lane change.
Yeah, I'm like, I just think I will be happier. Now, it is not nearly as lucrative. I probably wouldn't be here asking you all for money for the art center if I had gone that way. But the choices I made, I'm still happy for it. But
And it's extremely important to go to work and
Yeah.
be happy with what you do every day.
right.
Right. Yes.
My wife and I, we did long distance for a while. Like, I moved home, took care of my family. There were a lot of things going on at the time. And then I got scalped out of my restaurant management into an F&S director for a management company. So I worked for Nutrition Group. They have some accounts in Michigan now. They were trying to get me to help expand up here, but we had our differences. I was trying to get more into the corporate chef role, which I was in up until COVID. And then operations, they're like, we want you to stay in operations. You have a lot of strengths here. And I'm like, I want to be a chef.
Right.
So I finished up my time. We spent another year. I trained my replacement and all this and that. We saved as much as we could. And we moved to an old building that my father-in-law purchased and kind of forgot about in the woods in Hoxeyville. And have slowly been filling in the holes and putting up boards and walls and fixing up into something that's somewhat livable. And just taking our time. The housing market in town, there's a whole other market. There's a whole other podcast on that. So we just kind of took it as, we can make it this far. I took a job. I changed my major from biochemical engineering to creative writing. Why am I pursuing this corporate career? I made a lot more money.
Yes.
Felt hollow a little bit.
Don't think about it.
Yeah.
But that gave me the experience now. I ran multiple buildings. I had large staff. I did grant writing, and I worked in grant reimbursement. The food systems and how schools feed kids. It's a very complicated system that takes a good bit of knowledge.
I'm so glad you brought your toolbox to Cadillac. I have a question for you.
Yes.
If money were no object, no object at all,
Yeah.
where would you take? Where would you take the organization?
I would love to increase the size of that art center.
Physically, the building?
Physically, the
Okay.
building. We share space with the seniors, but we're growing. We only have, 6 classrooms, a boardroom. right? The goal is, like, well, wouldn't it be nice to have a large multi-use performing arts center
Yes.
that we could have these classrooms and these things, but also, the music, it's not just tucked in the corner when the dancers aren't upstairs, right?
I see.
And then
They have their own
we
space.
We have heard the Footlighters say that exact same thing.
Well,
we would love to have a dedicated
space. And my goal is working with others in the community. I am fully on the board with. We can't do it all ourselves, and it takes a lot of people to do meaningful thing. I mean, if anything worth doing takes time.
Right.
And the more time, the more effort, and the more people putting time and effort, it just slowly grows and grows. And that's how you get great things.
I want to tell our listeners, how do they get a hold of you?
Just my cell phone, 740-525-2205.
And how much money?
Say that one more time in case
740
somebody's driving around with their knees and don't.
740-525-2205.
Okay.
It's been on multiple state websites, so I'm not too precious with it anymore. You can call me.
There's a lot of synergy in the studio right now. I mean, you have got so much going on, and you know how to deliver. See, that's what's so interesting with your management background.
Keep moving.
Yes, right. And again, green light thinking. What art haven't we tackled that that we should be pulling in for children? And like you said, you're willing to work with others, and I think that's the mentality that we need in Cadillac. And so I want to talk about money one more time. How much money do you need to raise right now to sustain everything?
So we've gotten about half our goal of $10,000.
Okay.
I mean, that was our very modest. We've never done a sponsorship drive before. We can expect 10,000. Anything more than that, I mean, that's just more that we can do.
Okay.
But that will keep us out of the red, and that'll get us into next year. Maybe not carrying me. I can go probably a month or two, right? But we're going to try to do this annually. We're looking at a membership drive in the fall as well. But yeah, $10,000. We're about halfway there. We've got a little under a month left. The 11th of March is our proposed end date. Now, if you send me something on the 12th, I won't turn you away. But we would like to know if you're interested. If you haven't mailed the check until later, that's fine too. But yeah, call the center, email, cell phone. Would love to talk with you about how you could help us, how we can help you.
Community Art Forum. And then
Yes,
just a
Community
little
Art
bit of time
Yes.
we have left. It's next week. Give us who, what, where, when, and why.
So Thursday, 6 to 8 at the Drill Deck, 601 Chestnut Street, Up North Arts is hosting Michigan Art Share. The Visitors
February
Bureau.
27th.
February 27th.
Okay.
We are Michigan Art Share, myself with Up North Arts, Gabby Hansen, Lindsay Westorp, and Danielle Trimmer. We are all the ones been working on this grant project. We're also inviting the owners of the print company. So we will be there to tell you what we're thinking, what we've been doing, where we'll need help, right? There will be community involvement and engagement aspect opportunities. We'll have parts where we'll need help priming and prepping and just logistic things. We are looking for, even food donations for when we're out working, when we have our town halls. I'm still looking for something for Thursday, but I'll figure it out. I'm not too worried.
Somebody will hear it here.
Somebody, hopefully, will hear it.
Yeah.
But yeah, we've got a few things. We're always working on something, trying to make it bigger, better. And yeah, if we can get another $5,000 in the next month or so, I think we're going to be able to really impress the community with what we're able to do with that amount of funding.
All right. Are you telling me to wrap it up? Is
Well,
that what the look is?
I could talk to
I
this
thought you were
man
gonna
for
say
another
something.
hour.
I know.
And I would like to. You've got to come
I'll
back and talk to us.
Yeah, I'll bring Gabby next time too.
And the baby.
We love
And the
community.
baby, yeah.
We love community
I have
passion
to
on the
fight her
show.
mother for it.
Oh, okay.
All right.
She's been one of our babysitters.
Aw.
Sherry, she's wonderful.
Yes.
Heath
And this one's not too bad too. I like her.
Yes.
I like her as well.
We're pointing to Mary Galvanic, who is here for another purpose here a little bit later on. But Heath Urbaniak, Executive Director of Up North Arts, thank you for coming in.
Yeah.
We love your passion, and we hope people will support you.
Hey, thanks for getting my last name right.
I love it.
Join us next week. More local chat here, sponsored by Independent Bank. It's Cadillac Unscripted on 107.9 CDY.